I have to heap it to really feel the buzz. Head floaty, like feeling that buzz. Head buzz, you know that buzz. JR reviews, head floaty, like feeling that buzz. You know the pre-workout head review, buzz, you know that buzz. JR reviews, back into the pre-workout review. Today we're talking about the new iteration of Hive. So I'm gonna call this Hive V3 because it's technically the third take on it. Tub looks awesome. A little bit of shot at the label there. So let's talk a little bit about this. So like I said, I'm gonna call it the V3 because V1 came out, was kind of underwhelming. V2 came out, was just basically like a revamp of V1, but had great euphoria and just a great head experience, I'd say, out of it. You know, like a great euphoric experience from it. So everybody was really excited for V3 to come out because V2 was such a hit, you know, and everybody loved it so much that got wind that this was going to drop, and everybody was freaking out about it, like in a good way. So I was too, you know. I was wanting to check it out and see what it was all about. So as usual, you know, I'll flip the label up here on the screen a little for a minute, but I just want to touch on a couple highlights of this. We'll start off, it's the flavor is Valentine Punch. And then again, we flip the label up here. You got your typical beta, got your caffeine blend, and I wanted to look at this for a second. So it's got caffeine anhydrous and caffeine citrate. So fast acting, and your, I would say, you know, not mid acting, but, you know, mid release, you know, because it's got your fast, and, you know, it's having dicaffeine malate in it, you know, for the slow release. But together they yield 420 milligrams of caffeine. It's not terrible, you know, I mean, that's obviously on the high end of caffeine, but it's not anything crazy that we haven't seen. And then you come down here and you see HA, is what I'm going to refer to it as, for 225 milligrams. And then you got synephrine in here at 50 milligrams. You got Nupeptin here for 20 milligrams. And then you got Yohimbe, so at 4 milligrams. So again, when I flash this on the screen up here, the label, you'll see that there's misspelling and all kinds of like weirdness to the label. So you're like, all right, well, these bathtub pre's, these bunker pre's, you know, the more illicit, the better usually. So it might be a good thing. So start top with the Valentine Punch. The flavor, it actually wasn't bad. Like, I would say it's like a fruit punch type flavor, but it didn't feel like chemically like crazy, you know, burning sensation or anything like that. So, I mean, I ran it, you know, once by itself to see what it was going to do, and then once with a pump agent as well to see, because like I said, I want to try it first and try the flavor. But looking at that, obviously there's no pumps in this, so I knew I wasn't going to get a pump on the first run. So ran this at the 9-gram suggested dose on this, because everything I've read, and even it says on here, you know, start with, you know, half or 3/4 scoop to assess tolerance. But being the idiots we are, we're gonna go straight for what the serving size says. So I did 9 grams the first time, and took it on the way to the gym. Got on the treadmill, was walking, and you know, you would think with the caffeine citrate and anhydrous that you would get a pretty good burst of energy really quick. I personally did not get that, but what I did get was at the 40-minute mark, like literally at the 40-minute mark, it was like somebody took a sledgehammer and smacked me across the face. Like it immediately just kicked in. Everything just kicked in all at once. There was no gradual buildup to it to where I was like, okay, it's brewing. To me, this thing just kicked in all at once. And I was like, okay, let's start lifting. So it was deadlift day, but between the 40-minute mark to like 50 minutes, so like 10 minutes, I was sweating so bad that I had to go get a paper towel, wipe my hands off with it, and then put on chalk to grip the bar, because I was sweating so bad that my hands, if I put the chalk straight on, it was just creating paste. Like it wasn't even drying up the sweat. Then the nose run started happening. So the whole time I was blowing my nose, stuffing a napkin up in my nose just to keep it from running. And that went on the entire workout. Like there was no more than that, and there was no less than that. So it carried throughout an hour and a half of workout. Then I went and got in the sauna. So this whole time my heart rate was probably like in the 120s to 140s, like as I was deadlifting or working out, like it was going up and down. Went and got in the sauna, and the sauna, it ramped my heart rate up to about 150, and my nose was just pouring. I mean, pouring. And then I was pouring the sweat. I mean, I was sweating so bad. Then when my buddies came over, he seen me in there, so he got in there with me, and I couldn't really even form sentences with him. Like I knew I had to look like, or I was acting like I was literally cracked out of my head, because I was trying to talk to him, but at the same time I was being like really fidgety, like inside the sauna, like I was like checking my phone, like I was just going nonstop, and I couldn't really look him in the eyes because I was pouring all this snot out of my face. So I was like, man, I gotta go. So I got out of the sauna. This was about 7 a.m. Got showered up, got ready for work. And the entire day, up until like 8 p.m., I was that way. I was sweating so bad to where I came home at lunch. I changed shirts. My hands and everything was just pouring the sweat all day long, like the sniffles, like the nose runs all day. And never once in all this did I get any euphoria or any kind of mood elevation or like a head buzz, nothing. All this was a straight Alpha Yo bomb. I mean, if Wrecked and Raged and these other ones that are almost unbearable is a level 10 at 2 scoops, like at 9 grams, this was like, for me personally, this was a 9 or 9.5. It was right there on the same spectrum as all those other ones. So I was like, okay, that was 9. Let's dial it back to 6, the way everybody else says. 6 to me was, I won't say a sweet spot, because to me, all this is an Alpha Yo bomb. Like there is no pleasure really in this pre-workout for me personally. And I love Alpha Yo. I mean, if you watch my channel, I love it. But there comes a point to where it's unproductive, to where you just don't have, the capacity. Like you just don't feel like that you are getting anything productive done. Like all you're worried about is sweating, nose running, and you're just kind of like on edge, but not in a good way. Like this isn't, like I would say, aggressive, but it's not, to me, it's not productive. Like if I want a good Alpha Yo pre-workout, I'm going to reach for Edge of Insanity. I'm going to reach for my other dailies, like my Ultra Stem, my Stealth, even like the Psychotics and stuff like that, the things that have Alpha Yo in it, but also perform well. To me, especially if you're going to claim, and illicit in here, then it should hit like that. You should get that. But I'm not going to waste an illicit day on this. I mean, because, I don't feel like I did. Like both times I took this, it just felt like I ran a really, really hardcore daily. But not hardcore daily as in like something you're bragging about, like, man, like I can't believe Justin's running Hive today. It's like, I don't want to admit that I'm running this, because like I said, it doesn't bring out the best in me at all. To me, like I said, it's just not a productive experience whatsoever. And I've talked to numerous other people and they're like, yeah, I don't care if I ever run that again. And that's how I feel about it. Like the only way I think to make this thing be really good is if you had it about 5 grams and then stack some pure white caps on it, some Carolina Chems, whichever one you'll go with, 2 amino, 1, 3, whatever, or something like that. Like you'd have to stack something to get some type of euphoria out of this, to get sense of urgency, productivity, and some kind of head buzz out of it. Because to me, this standalone, they absolutely missed the mark. And that's the thing that kills me about it is, I mean, it's just, I think they should have renamed this. Like, there's no way that you can't tell me that they didn't get test batches of this and did not realize that this thing was not at all probably what he had in mind when he was formulating this. And send it back or rename it. You're just playing on people's, nostalgic thoughts and nostalgia at this point by naming it Hive. Everybody's like, yes, that's the new Hive. Just like Dark Labs, you know, with cracked purple or cracked gold. Like, I think these companies are doing themselves a disservice by naming this, because yes, you're gonna get the initial influx of people buying it, but once they run it, they're like, well, that sucks. That's nothing like what I thought it was gonna be. It's not like the Hive that I'm used to. It's not like the cracked purple I'm used to. So I think they would have done themselves a lot better job if they, like I said, if they was to rename this to something else, and to really look at their sourcing of the illicits, because I think they got ripped off on this one. So run it if you want to, but like I said, the consensus I'm hearing is that it's not what everybody thought it was going to be, and they're kind of let down on it. But again, everybody's different. Some people will get this and they'll absolutely love it. I mean, some people love Direct and Rage at 2 scoops and just think that's the most perfect thing ever. Not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying, just keep that in mind when you do pick this up, if you do. So Hive, I'm gonna say V3. Pick it up and know what y'all think.